Welcome back, Generation Iron, for another exciting episode of Sex, Love, and Bodybuilding. I'm your host, Margarita Ventura, and here is your other host.
What's going on, guys? IFBB Pro Akeem Williams here again. And Margarita, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about online dating.
Don't you just miss the days of just like walking into the supermarket or walking on the street and just meeting somebody?
Honey, we are somebody. We can walk down the street and be somebody. It's not a problem. No, I know what you mean. And just be somebody without being this other persona on 5 different apps and all the admin work that goes with it.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
I feel like now the world is just becoming so antisocial. Like nobody has like personality anymore because they all hide behind a computer. You know, I remember growing up where you would see a hot girl or something like that, and you know you had to have game to try to talk to her.
you did.
Exactly, you
What
had
kind
to.
of game did they throw down? Like
Shit,
just
you
like
had to have
lines,
you
had
had
to,
to you had to have some
you had to
lines.
puff out your chest.
You know
You gotta
what I
be
mean?
like,
Otherwise, she wouldn't pay attention to you.
That's true.
Because she's hearing lines all day, so your lines better be original.
that's
You
right.
know, now you pretty much should just make up crap or hide behind a computer and say whatever you want, and people just go for it.
It's not even I think even more frequently than the computer is like your phone.
Yeah.
And there is research out there that when you open up a social media and you open up one of those apps, which dating apps are sort of built like social media, you get a dopamine release. So you keep having that dopamine release. So that's why people are a bit sedated, which kind of sucks if you're getting ready for a date. You know? But I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of singles out there that are, you know, dying to find their soulmate and swolemate, and like, so, you know, what are stories and things that you're hearing? Like, you didn't meet your girlfriend on social media
no,
or
I
an
did
app?
not meet my girlfriend on social
Okay,
media.
yeah.
We actually met in person.
In
you know,
person.
in person, yes.
Being yourself.
Exactly.
Being
Had a
like
conversation.
awesome.
Exactly.
That's-
But interesting story, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I always share this story to everybody. After we met in person, everything like that, one of the ways we kept in contact was through social media, which was Instagram
Okay.
and stuff
Which
like that.
social media?
Instagram.
Instagram.
You know, and she
Before or after the DM? Were you
said,
slipping it in the DM?
No, I wasn't slipping in the DM.
Oh.
You know, she liked a few of my photos. I follow her back and stuff like that. And we had that connection, you know, liking photos and stuff like that, commenting on a few photos, and then got into the DM. So we didn't just start off with the DM, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got
So
into the
are
DM.
there steps?
And only reason we got into the DM is because I posted a picture and I tagged the wrong person. So if I didn't tag the wrong person, we would never smoke.
you tagged her.
I tagged the wrong person.
Ah, you tagged the wrong.
So she was in the picture. We took a picture together.
Oh, okay, got
And I
it.
tagged the wrong person. in
Oh,
the
and
picture.
she's like,
What the hell is wrong with this guy?
She's like, yo, that is not who I am.
Exactly.
It's actually really funny.
Yeah, so that's why she sent me a DM.
So then, did you move away from the DM and then start texting?
Actually, we stayed in the DM for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you got to get used to the DM. You can't just from the DM to texting. Like, come on. You got to build.
I mean, there's like,
No, you have to build a DM relationship.
is there like a handbook for like
Yeah, of
online
course.
dating?
Yeah.
Because like,
You see, the problem with people, they take you out of the online dating too quick. You know?
you got to keep it
Yeah.
encapsulated in
In
the.
the- yeah, exactly. In the app.
Because
you
in
gotta keep it
case
the app.
it's not gonna go any further,
then
you
exactly.
can make moves.
Then that motherfucker has your number, and then he can do whatever he wants with it. So you want to keep it in there.
But you can block someone on your phone. But that's like a step up.
Exactly.
All right. So then, like, moving away from social media, does anyone meet anyone on Facebook anymore? Or is that like just?
Well, it's
like
the same thing as social media, and I personally think Facebook is for old people. No disrespect, but I think like the younger generation.
Well, I just
now-
think we've moved on.
Exactly. You're
Right.
more
So
into
it's Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard, you know, like people find their like their soulmate, who they're gonna get married on Tinder and Bumble.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard like, hey, this weekend I'm going to so and so's wedding, and it's like an Instagram wedding. I've never heard Insta
Well,
wedding.
in the fitness industry, I'm sure they have a lot of people that met on Instagram and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
it's such a closely knitted community. And if you want to meet somebody that's into fitness and stuff like that, Instagram is a great way of doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're probably not going to see that on Tinder or on Bumble.
I
whatever
don't
the hell
know. It
is.
depends.
I
I met my
guarantee-
boyfriend within 48 hours. Here, Now the
Do
girls are
your
all
boy-
gonna, now
okay.
all the girls are gonna go and get Tinder. But I'm gonna give away what I put as my title.
Okay.
Okay. So I begrudgingly got on Tinder because I was, newly single and out of, I should say, I'm separated, and my friends were like, okay, it's been like 8 months. Like you're in like a holding pattern and you're going to the gym like 2 or 3 times a day outside of work. You're not going to meet someone at the gym because you don't like to where you lift and you don't like where you work, which is, you don't where you eat. And they're like, what are you going to do? Just like keep being this like born again virgin and like not meet anyone? Because I was rotating and I was getting super jacked, but like it just was like something my friends were like, I think you really need to try Tinder. And then after you do Tinder, move on to Bumble. And then you toss between the 2 of them. I'm like, that sounds like a lot of apps. And let me just ease in. I got on Tinder. And within 48 hours, I had some messaging here and there with whoever. And then I ended up meeting my current boyfriend.
Okay.
And he got me off. He didn't want me to be a Tinder hoe at all. He was like, done. Within 48 hours. And my first sentence on my profile was because I knew I wanted something. I knew what I wanted and I knew exactly what I didn't want. And I said, looking for something real. Boys, swipe left. Ladies, you can take my line and I swear it works. And then the rest of the 150 characters or whatever it was they allowed me, I really was direct about what I did and what I was into, and then I was really into fitness. And then my other tactic was when guys would ask me to go out and get a drink, not a meal, not coffee. Let's go get a drink. I already knew what that was implying.
Okay.
And I'm not a big drinker. So I said, I don't drink. I ended up getting like, a little sauced with my current boyfriend on our date. But that's because we had a lot of really rich and very real conversations, putting everything on the table before we sat at the table.
Okay.
Other things that were happening within that 48 hours, there's a lot of action within the 48 hours, was people that I did not swipe right or whatever. Do you know how Tinder works?
No, I've
okay,
never been
so
on Tinder, so.
you're like on it and you like swipe left for the people that you don't like.
Okay.
And then you swipe right, and then you could super like someone.
Okay.
And you like go up to the top of their list. And you can link your social media. Anyway, there are people that were going against some hidden Tinder rule and finding me on social media. And I started to just get frightened because I don't like that. When I hear a lot of women talk about, like, this is my lifestyle, I'm into fitness, I like to eat well, I just want to meet a guy that is in alignment with that, I'm on all these apps, I've been on like 31 dates, blah, blah. And then I look at their profile, I'm like,
So
well, you're not being very descriptive. And
how would you consider? I know you've dated guys that you didn't meet on online dating.
Yes.
How would you I say compare the two versus guys that you didn't meet through online dating versus the men that you met on online dating? Who are more confident? Who are less confident? And how was the connection between the two different type of guys?
It just happened to be that we had like a really strong connection. And then when we decided to commit, we ended up finding out that our lives have been rotating around each other. And for a while, we have been going to the same gym.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Isn't
Small
that crazy?
world.
Yeah.
That's
I was
pretty small.
walking up the stairs and
And
he
you
was
never
walking
noticed
down
him?
the stairs and he grunted, but I didn't hear him grunt. And luckily I didn't meet him at the gym because I wouldn't have taken him very seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're guard that guys, right? She don't where she eat, but yet she still meets somebody that goes to the same gym that she does.
It was a coincidence. It was a coincidence. But, okay, so to answer your question, I think there was an exception. And I'm so thankful for that exception. But I think that I can't say because I didn't do that much online dating, but I would have to admit that the way that people text and message is very different than how they would approach you.
And that's one of the main things I notice about online dating. It gives men and women like a confidence. They have that confidence about them.
Yeah.
Versus when you meet them in person, it's like usually a totally opposite person.
Yeah.
It's like the keyboard warriors. And like, you post something and you have a troll or you have somebody that's hating on you, they talk a lot of shit. But then when they see you in person, one time I got a DM message on social media, on Instagram, where I had to cover my ass right away because I never had an online account.
What happened?
I had a woman message me some very, very horrible messages, like some very, very like nasty messages. Basically calling me
Not good nasty, bad nasty.
Bad nasty.
Ooh.
Like basically calling me a horrible person, a piece of I used her and all this other stuff. And
You're
I'm
like, hey.
I'm just sitting there reading this stuff and I'm like, who the hell is this person? I had no idea who she was. And, you know, I took it upon myself to try to talk to her and send her a message back. And I asked, like, how do I know you and stuff like that? And through the conversation, I realized that somebody made a fake account on one of those dating websites.
No.
Yeah, took my pictures from Instagram. She sent me all the pictures.
Now, wait
she
a
sent me the
second.
conversation.
Is this person watching right now? Did you catfish Akeem?
I know who they are too. They're from London, England, so I know who you are.
All right, sorry to interrupt. So they use your pictures.
Use my pictures from Instagram. Messages this woman. I guess, you know, promised her this whole beautiful life. You know, she got her ideal guy who she wanted to date and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, it just disappeared on her. So one thing led to the next, where she wanted to get in contact because, you know, they exchanged numbers and everything like that, and the person wasn't responding anymore. So she took it to social media, and she thought I was that person.
First of all, why would you believe such huge life changes and promises without meeting someone?
That is true. That is true. But you
On
know,
an app.
if you have somebody that's sending you all these pictures, all these photos and stuff like that,
Of
and
you.
Exactly, and you start having a conversation with the person every day or whatever the case may be, after a while you let your guard down.
Right.
You know, and that's the whole concept of catfishing. You know, and before you know it, you know, you get wrapped up into something that you actually think is real, but it's really not. Something like Tinder or POF, you know, they could just make so much fake stuff out there, man, and just put all that fake profile up. Like for me on Instagram,
It's not as focused
Yes.
for bodybuilders
Yeah,
and fitness,
exactly.
right? So
for me, like, of course, there's a lot of fake stuff on Instagram. Also, people put up fake, you know, Photoshop photos and all this other stuff. But you know, the majority of the time, if a girl, you know, is attractive and stuff like that, or you know, she's into social media, she's not going to just have like 10 photos up. You know, she's going to post a lot of photos,
yeah.
especially fitness and stuff like that.
I tried to date someone once and he was completely different than how he projected himself on social media.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
in person. It was
there's-
kinda
there's-
weird.
There's a lot of catfishes out there. I like.
No, it wasn't a catfish. It was him.
Okay.
It was real him. But how he projects himself to the public and then how he behaves in private is like Jekyll and Hyde. It kind of freaked me out a little bit.
So you could be anybody you want to be behind your phone, texting, whatever. But when it comes to a face-to-face conversation, when you actually have to sit down and talk to somebody, it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah, and to
than
like
that.
actually put the app
Exactly.
down and the phone down and
Exactly.
have a real conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
mean-
hard. You know, I've been on dates before where like, you know, you might have great conversations over the phone and you meet that person, you meet them in person and you're just like, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
When my boyfriend and I started dating, the one thing that I did, and I didn't even think about it, it was very instinctual. For him in particular, I leave my phone when we go to dinner.
I tried that for the first time a few weeks
nice.
ago. It's different.
It's different.
It's weird
I mean,
because
I got the shakes a little
because,
bit,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you know.
you do. You're so adapted to your phone right now.
Yeah.
That you forget
want
in your
the
head
phone
that you
in
left
your
it at
hand
home,
right now.
and you would keep like
Yeah.
keep reaching in your pocket and stuff like that. You get it. So I encourage you guys to actually try that. For guys who
Try
are
it.
dating and stuff like
Liberating.
that, just try that out one day. Take your significant other out and just leave the phones at home, and you'll find out how interesting that date is gonna go.
Yeah. Might
You
even
know?
get freakier a
Yeah,
little earlier.
it's actually it's a great idea. Actually,
I
like it.
like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
put
fun.
the phone down.
Yeah.
You know? And like you get like 2 hours or 3 hours of really good quality time.
Conversation, yeah.
Get some ass later. You need to put in the
Well,
romance.
hopefully.
Hopefully, if it's a good date. What's some advice that we can give them? I mean, you can take away my line.
I would basically say don't rush it
Don't rush it, yeah.
in terms of meeting that person.
Don't believe everything
Exactly.
you receive via text. It's just a text.
It's just a text, you know. And if you do meet, make sure you have an escape plan,
Escape plan.
because if that person shows up and it's not what you thought, you're gonna need an escape plan.
What's
So-
a good escape plan?
Well, I've always used the friend my friend is in the hospital, or my grandmother's in the hospital.
That
stuff
worked.
Like that always
Oh
worked.
yeah, and then you got the follow-up text. I hope everything's okay with your. You're like, yeah, everything is fine. You know.
But you always want to have that one friend that you could just like send a quick text like, "Yo, just call me in 5 minutes."
Oh my God, really? She's in the hospital? I have to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you always want to have an exit strategy, just in
Yeah.
case it's not working out. Because you don't want to be stuck there for 2 hours or an hour and a half and just like, holy can I leave?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, but also I think, a takeaway and a lesson that I want people to give, to get from this is, we live in this like very tech, app, everything. We base too much on the text. And you still have to base some old school dating rules,
Of
like
course.
that actions speak louder than words. And today, actions speak louder than text. So if mother is dragging on and he's texting you that he's gonna be doing this and that and no follow through, then like it's probably never going to happen.
True.
And
Very true.
what do women do about shots coming their way?
Well,
We didn't even talk about Snapchat.
first of all,
What do you do about the
guy-
pics?
a
What do
guy-
you do
a
about
guy-
the pics flying at your
if
face?
you're going to send those kind of pictures, man, you better be confident. You better be very confident.
Is there a term for guys who like bait and switch or catfish or whatever, like pics? Like they use other pics? You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
This stuff was going on
it's-
in the
it's-
bodybuilding scene.
it's not
I'm not
gonna
going to
work-
name names.
It's not going to work out, though, because what's going to happen when you actually get to that point where they got to see what you're packing? What's going to happen?
You ain't packaging.
Exactly. So it's not going to work out. So you shouldn't even use that line.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even pull that stunt.
It's
Because
not a
there's going to
line.
come a time
It's
where
not a line.
Sure, you could turn off the lights or do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, she's going to know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense to use that one. And I shouldn't. I mean, as a guy, you shouldn't even take it there yet. You should be confident enough to knowing that, as a man.
You don't have to send pics.
Exactly.
Just like women, if you're, want to be respected, you shouldn't send the titty pics and the
Yeah.
ass pic. And because you also don't know where those pictures are going to end up.
And make sure you don't put your face in those pictures. If you're gonna send them,
If you're going to do it,
Don't
cut
put
the
your face
face
in it.
off. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us for another episode of Sex, Love, and Bodybuilding. And make sure to subscribe to Generation Iron and, send
Also-
comments. No DMs, it's cool. You can make comments on our Instagram and
What
our
you guys
YouTube
wanna see
page.
next year?
Yeah, let us know. Good
What other
and
topics,
bad,
yeah.
whatever.
let's go. So what other topics you want to discuss, and what do you like and what you don't like about the show, and we're just gonna keep improving from there, right?
That's right. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.